Washington Journal continues.
We want to welcome a new face to the program this morning. Congressman Carlos Curbelo, Republican of Florida, serving in his first term, serves on the Transportation Infrastructure Committee. We'll get the funding bill, but first I want to ask you about immigration issues and sanctuary cities. The House is going to vote today on legislation put forth by Representative Duncan Hunter that would, according to the Washington Times, withhold federal law enforcement grants from jurisdictions that shield illegal immigrants from U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Turning back Democrats, please, for more time and more hearings on the issue.
Greta, look, I'm a major proponent of immigration reform, and this legislation is inspired by the tragic death, the horrendous murder that took place in San Francisco just a few days ago. And I understand the sentiment that we want to do something or show that Congress is being proactive. However, sanctuary cities is only one of the many pernicious symptoms of our broken immigration system. And if we want to put an end to all of this, if we want to bring order to immigration in the United States, this bill today really isn't a solution. It's a Band-Aid. It addresses those cities that refuse to cooperate with the federal government, but it does so kind of by punishing law enforcement. So I'm not sure that this is the best way forward, and what I'm calling for, what I'm advocating for, is real solutions to our immigration system. This bill today will not secure the border. It will not reform our visa system. It will not help us account for the 11 to 13 million people that are living here illegally. That's what we need to focus on. This isn't a real solution.
So are you a no vote?
I haven't decided yet, but I'm not enthusiastic about this legislation today.
What have you heard? I mean, you're a Republican who has set up a PAC to help promote Republicans who are for immigration reform to addressing the whole system. What have you heard from leadership about getting some, are you talking to them about getting something on the floor and when that might happen? Is it more likely after 2016?
Our leaders know that this has to get done. They know it's an important issue for the country. They know it's an important issue for our party. The question is, how do we do it? And how do we build enough trust with President Obama to get it done? Before this last election, the Speaker of the House told the President, please don't move on immigration on your own. Give us a shot to do it. The President moved unilaterally anyway. That was very damaging to the prospects of immigration reform. However, there's a significant group of us in the Republican conference that are working very hard every day to build momentum for this issue and to say, look, we can't just focus on whether it be sanctuary cities or visa caps. We really need to look at the whole system and pay attention to how it's failing our country, failing our economy, failing our law enforcement agencies, and fix it. And that's what we're going to continue advocating for. I have the only political action committee in the country on the Republican side that's dedicated to supporting Republicans that understand the importance of this issue.
How much money do you have?
We've raised almost $100,000 already.
And how many in your coalition of Republican colleagues who are looking at and trying to push reform?
Well, I don't have a hard number, but we've already supported over 30 members of Congress, and all of them have told me personally, yes, this is an important issue and I want to work on it. So I take them at their word.
You said it's important for the party as well. I want to play for you what Donald Trump had to say in South Carolina on Tuesday about his immigration remarks that he made recently.
And we brought something up that wasn't even discussed by anybody, Democrat, Republican, wasn't discussed. The problem that we're having in this country, it's a tremendous problem with the border and border security and lack of border security and illegal immigrants. It's a huge problem, and now everybody's talking about it, and they're saying I was right, and people that were criticizing me 2 weeks ago are calling me and they're saying, off the record, Mr. Trump, you were right. And even reporters, a couple of them called and they sort of don't. I said, would you go on the record? No, we don't want to do that. But we're getting great credit. And then last week, as you know, we had a tremendous rally, 15,000 people in Phoenix, Arizona, and it was unbelievable. And they really came for a reason, and it was illegal immigration. They're being decimated. They want it stopped. I want people to come into the country, but they have to do it through the legal process.
Congressman?
Well, Mr. Trump is trying to sound a little reasonable after making some completely ridiculous, absurd, and really unacceptable remarks. He's saying that people agree with him that immigration is a problem in our country and something that needs to be addressed, and certainly I think most Americans believe that, and we've seen that in polling. What we don't agree with him on is the disparaging remarks he made about Mexicans and Mexican Americans. I have many Mexican-American friends. They are some of the hardest working people in this country. They came to this country to work. I understand that Mr. Trump hires many of them in his many different businesses. So Mr. Trump has been a destructive force on the political scene. He was kind of distorting what the debate has really been about. And the bottom line is that, like so many others, and I include President Obama, other Democrats and Republicans as well, he has used immigration for personal political gain by agreements. In the case of the president in 2008, I've criticized him over and over for this. He promised during the campaign, he said, in my first year as president, we will address immigration reform. Democrats had the whole House. They had control of the House. They had 60 votes in the Senate, and they refused to act. Why? So that they could continue using immigration as a political football. So whether it's Mr. Trump, other Republicans, other Democrats, I condemn anyone who uses this topic, which is a very serious topic that needs real solutions, for political gains.
Should Mr. Trump get out of the race?
Of course he should. He's not a serious candidate. He's obviously doing this to get attention. I have raised a number of issues about him. He's now criticizing Hillary Clinton in a very aggressive way, but everyone knows that he's very close to the Clintons. They went to his wedding in 2005. He's contributed to the Clinton Foundation. He's contributed to Miss Clinton's campaigns. This is Donald Trump's campaign is not about the country. It's not about the future of America. It's about him. He's very selfish, and he should get out of this race so that we can have a serious debate and listen to serious candidates that have honest and sincere solutions for the future of our country.
Donald Trump's going to tour the border today. He's going to Laredo, Texas. The people of Laredo, Texas, inviting him to go down there. By the way, you can look for our coverage of this on CSPAN.org. What do you make of that?
He should apologize. There are many Mexican Americans that live in that part of the country, and he should apologize, and he should recognize their hard work, their contributions to this country, and he should announce that he's getting out of the race. That would be the best thing that he could do.
I want to also talk about